cosmology, the devil is certainly not acquaintance. Acquaintance is a different entity, it's a different energy. But acquaintance being a different energy does not mean that in our cosmology we don't have an additional or a sort of a malignant force. Now, this malignant force that we have is, I regard them as negative energies. Negative energies that can be used by certain spirits. They can be used by Alose, Amosu, Awo, Ajani. Now, in cases of you committing an abortion, these entities can use this negative energy as a way to basically make you understand that there's a consequences for every action. So this energy, we look at Obbonauke, we look at Akohili, we look at Otu, we look at Uke. So all these kinds of energy are basically being used by these entities. But I'm going to be focused on a particular one, Obbonauke. So we look at Obbonauke as a shared tragedy. This means that it's something that you either get from, the people around you, your colleagues, your friends, your lovers, your family members. You get them from people around you, the way you interact with them. Now, you can even say that if you're being cursed by a lover or by somebody because of what you did, well, you can say that the curse is going to manifest as Obbonauke. Now, when you sleep ceaselessly with people that you don't know their background, their spiritual background, is just like getting an HIV. Yeah, that's how it manifests, as like a spiritual HIV. And when you engage in cult activities, whether you're in school or any other walk of life, you can actually also get this energy, because by the shared thing that is holding you and your group together, the crime, the bloodshed, and all those things, is going to also manifest as Obbonauke in your life. Now, another aspect of this manifestation is basically when it manifests from a spirit family. Now, we call them Ndi Iyi Uwa or your Ndi-otu. This is your spiritual group or your spiritual family or your spiritual Ogbanje kind of family. So when it's manifesting at that level, then you know that every rites and rituals that you're going to perform is basically targeted at basically appeasing those forces. They are not necessarily malignant, but they are basically trying to seek your attention. Hence the reason why they are manifesting the way they do. A lot of processes, a lot of rites that we use to clamp the effects of this Obbonauke energy. Now, it depends on where it's coming from. It will now determine how you're supposed to handle it. But what I want to focus on here is that the rituals are particularly an aspect of this whole process. What basically makes this thing what it is you adhering to the rules attached to it. Now, the rules attached to it are basically, we're talking about your morality, we're talking about the way you live your life. So if this Obbonauke energy is coming from your friends, it's coming from people you relate with, where you go, basically the kind of lifestyle, the kind of personality, the kind of behavior that you have. Now, it calls for you to particularly change those lifestyles, change how you interact with other people. If you're the kind of man that is into womanizing, then you know it's time for you to hang your cloth. If it's a time for you, if you're the kind that frequents the bar, then you know it's time for you to basically cut down on it. Now, the kind of colors you wear when you're in the public environment also matters, because those kinds of clothes can basically expose your shadow to these kinds of energy. And once they expose your shadow, because your shadow is an extreme vulnerable part of you, and it's the first layer to your person, to your essence. Now, we say after your shadow then we'll meet your ogodo, which is the flesh that the body that our soul is inhabiting. So if you wear these kinds of color, you're allowing yourself, or you're allowing these negative energies to attach to you. Now we know that wherever there is like a group of people, that there are so many things that is going on around there that we particularly may not be aware. But for those that are spiritually awoken and have their third eye open, they will tell you that they can see things that other people cannot see. And when they are seeing all those things, they're basically seeing how these negative energies can attach themselves to a person because of the kind of life they live, or because of whatever reason that thing is attaching to them. Now, the easiest way to basically identify which particular Obbonauke or which particular negative energy is afflicting a person is through divination. But first of all, there are symptoms, be things that are happening to you in your life, how your life is, the channel or the angle that your life is heading towards could give you insights about what is happening. So particularly, one of the symptoms is you getting into trouble where other people are not getting into trouble. Maybe you guys go for an event, go to a place, and when you get to that place, something happens to you and only you alone. So this when it happens over and over and over, you have to suspect that something is wrong. And when something is wrong, then it requires for you to basically find a way to fix it. Ikwa say when you're in an environment and people there just don't like you for no reason, it's not because you did anything spectacular, it's not because you did something that they don't like, but for some reason they just don't like you. So its symptoms are basically surrounding, causing enmity between you and your fellow human beings. So once you kind of suspect all those things, then it's time for you to engage in cleansing rites and restorative rituals or clamping rituals. Now finally, stage that you see yourself, it requires that you perform this Obbonauke kind of rituals. I know some Dabias that would always recommend you to perform this rite. They will tell you Ike Ogbonauke, and there are reasons why they are telling you to clamp the effects of Obbonauke. It's basically there to limit some of these excesses and help you flourish. Now, if you like this kinds of content, follow for more.